bucket. Mariah, Mariah, there's a hole in the bucket. Mariah, there's a hole. Then why don't you fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry? Then why don't you fix it, dear Henry, dear, fix it? With what shall I fix it, Mariah, Mariah? With what shall I fix it, Mariah? With what?
Here's a garden. You notice that all the plants love being in the garden. They got their own place, plenty of soil. Makes them feel special to belong to the garden, connected to the garden. But here we have a problem. Because although we have a great garden, something happened and there were plants that were planted in buckets. Look at, so here's a plant in its bucket, and even though, see, it's fruitful and growing, you know what it really does? It spends its life wishing that it was in the garden. Yeah, it's in a bucket, it's cared for, it's nurtured, it's watered, but what it really cares about is, why isn't it in the garden? How come it doesn't have a place in the garden? How come it doesn't get to feel special and cared for? How come it's stuck in some bucket somewhere? And the pride of life, everyone knows, is in the garden. Why did the master stick it in a bucket? What's up with that? There's a hole in my bucket, oh bucket, oh bucket. There's a hole in my bucket, oh bucket, my friend. Can't you just hear him singing that in the garden? Here's a proud bucket plant. See the boast? Buckets do it best. Here's 4 tomato plants in a bucket. They're all set apart differently. They're all in a place right next to the garden, so they can spend all day in envy and jealousy. And not only that, look at here. Even among those in the bucket, one was given one thing, one was given another, a third, and a fourth. Not only do they have to fight the jealousy and animosity of not being in the garden, they get to compare themselves one to the other, to the other, to the other, all day long. Do you think the fruit will be bad because it comes from a bucket?
There's a hole in the bucket, Mariah, Mariah. There's a hole in the bucket, Mariah, there's a hole. Then why don't you fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry? Then why don't you fix it, dear Henry, dear, fix it? With what shall I